Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into something that's really changing the game for electric vehicle drivers.
Yeah.
And by EV, any car powered just by electricity.
Right.
We're talking about the rapid rise of mobile charging solutions, especially what's happening right now in Maryland. You've given us some great sources on this, and we're going to unpack why these services aren't just like nice to have anymore.
Exactly. They seem pretty crucial.
Yeah.
And what's really groundbreaking here, I think, isn't just that charging comes to you, but how this sort of flips the script on traditional infrastructure challenges.
Interesting. How so?
Well, instead of needing these massive fixed charging hubs, which, might even become obsolete mobile units, offer a dynamic, scalable solution, they adapt instantly to demand. It's like decentralizing the grid in a way.
Ah, okay. So more flexible.
Definitely. So our goal today is really to pull out the most important insights from your material, give you a quick, well-informed take on this whole innovative corner of sustainable transport.
Okay, sounds good. Let's set the scene then. Why is mobile EV charging becoming such a significant development, particularly when we look at a place like Maryland? What's special there?
Well, your sources clearly point to a huge surge in EV adoption in Maryland. That's the baseline.
Okay. More EVs on the road.
Right. But more than that, Maryland consistently ranks as one of the most congested places in the U.S.
The traffic, yeah. I've heard that.
Exactly. And think about it. Long waits in stop-and-go traffic. They aren't just annoying for the driver. They can surprisingly drain an EV's battery much faster than you might think.
Right, creating unexpected needs for a charge.
Precisely. Those urgent oh-no moments. And then you also have seasonal weather.
Yes.
Especially the colder months, That impacts battery efficiency, too, adds another layer of complexity for drivers.
So it's not just about that rare long trip where maybe you miscalculate your range. Even daily commutes could turn into a bit of nail-biter sometimes.
That's exactly it. And this problem, this sort of daily anxiety, it really sets the stage for what comes next.
Okay, so how exactly are these mobile services stepping in? What do they actually do to solve these pain points?
Well, at its core, mobile EV charging is. It's pretty much what it sounds like. The charging unit literally comes to you.
Right to your car.
Yep. These services dispatch portable charging units directly to drivers who need a boost, powering up the vehicle right there on the spot. It's incredibly helpful in emergencies, obviously, or just when finding a traditional charging station is difficult or impossible, gets you back on the road quickly.
That immediate relief, not having to frantically search for a charger when you're running low on battery,
Yeah.
that really does sound like a game changer.
It can be.
So what are the tangible benefits drivers are actually seeing?
Well, a key takeaway from the material you shared is the emphasis on swift assistance. Speed matters here.
Okay.
Reliability and quick response times are highlighted as really paramount. For instance, some providers there in Maryland are actually aiming to arrive in as little as 15 minutes.
15?
Yeah, this rapid EV charging response, as they call it. And that's notably faster than the 30 minutes mentioned for a competitor in the sources.
That's a significant difference.
It is. This kind of emergency EV roadside assistance, it helps you get moving again quickly, whether you're stuck in rush hour traffic or, dealing with bad weather.
15 minutes is incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Especially if you're truly stranded. Is that like a guaranteed time? Or is it more of an aim?
It's likely an aim, depends on conditions, of course,
No.
traffic, weather.
Sure.
But the other key piece is availability. They really stress that. What's clear from your material is that these services operate 24/7, round-the-clock EV assistance.
Ah, okay. So always available.
Which means EV owners can genuinely count on help whenever they might need it. And you can imagine that dramatically boosts confidence for drivers.
Yeah, I could see that. Reduces that anxiety.
Absolutely. Some sources even cite a specific number you can call for assistance, 888-675-9555. That kind of reliability, it's really the bedrock of the service.
Okay, so reliability, speed, 24/7 availability. Clear advantages. How does this stack up against, the traditional charging options? What are the limitations of those that mobile really helps overcome?
Well, traditional EV charging, finding a station, it often involves a bit of a scavenger hunt, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yeah. Planning ahead.
Right. Careful planning is needed, and in crowded cities or just during peak times, finding an available public station can be a real struggle. You end up waiting, maybe getting frustrated.
You've been there.
Mobile charging just completely sidesteps that whole issue. It brings the power directly to the driver, so it eliminates the wait and that uncertainty.
So more convenience, less waiting.
Exactly. And for businesses using EVs, it translates directly into more work getting done, less downtime.
Right. So thinking about that, what does this all mean for someone maybe on the fence about getting an EV, or for businesses considering electrifying their fleets? It sounds like it's chipping away at some pretty big perceived barriers.
Oh, absolutely. You're spot on. The impact really extends significantly beyond just individual drivers. Your sources detail how tailored fleet EV charging solutions are becoming vital for boosting productivity and drastically cutting that unproductive downtime for businesses.
Okay, so like for delivery vans and things like that.
Precisely. Imagine an electric delivery fleet. Mobile charging can pretty much solve those worries about vehicles being offline, needing hours to charge. They can allow vehicles to be charged at key points on their routes, maybe during a lunch break or a loading period.
Opportunistic charging.
Exactly. Keeping those delivery schedules running smoothly, genuinely boosting output. Less time plugged in, more time on the road.
That's a direct impact on the bottom line, for sure. And the sources mentioned something called charging as a service for corporate fleets. What's that about? Sounds like a strategic shift.
It really is. Charging as a service, or CAPI, it fundamentally redefines how corporate fleets handle their charging. Instead of buying and installing lots of fixed chargers, big upfront costs, right?
Right, capital expenditure.
Kias offers on-demand mobile charging, often with flexible plans without those massive initial investments. So it easily adapts as a fleet grows or as charging technology itself improves.
Scalable.
Very scalable, and ensures access to the latest tech. It's a genuinely green fleet management approach that offers both financial and operational pluses.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the sources also frequently mention mobile DC fast charging. For listeners who might not be deep into the EV tech weeds, what exactly is DC fast charging, and how does it make things more efficient?
Yeah, good question. Let's break that down. Most home chargers, and many public ones, use AC, alternating current. Your car has an onboard charger that converts that AC power to DC, direct current, to store in the battery.
Okay.
DC fast charging bypasses that onboard converter. It sends high-power DC electricity straight to the battery.
So it's more direct.
Much more direct and much, much faster. Think of it like filling a bucket with a fire hose versus a garden hose.
Got it. Big difference in speed.
Huge difference. So mobile DC fast charging is all about that speed and efficiency. It allows EVs to get a significant amount of power, a good chunk of range, really quickly, often in just minutes. This drastically cuts down time, keeps fleets moving, keeps individual drivers on the move.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Speed is key, especially roadside. And can these mobile services be tailored? Because, every driver's needs, every business's operations, they're different.
Absolutely. That's another point highlighted. Many providers offer highly customizable EV charging plans. You can often pick what works best. Maybe it's the ideal time of day for charging, or the specific amount of power you need, or how often the service comes.
Flexible scheduling.
Right. And you can usually adjust it as your schedule changes, or for a business, as operational needs evolve. It's designed to be really flexible around the user.
We've definitely taken a deep dive into mobile EV charging today, really shown a spotlight on its growing impact, especially in Maryland. From helping individual drivers avoid those roadside worries with, incredibly rapid 15-minute responses potentially.
Yeah, and the 24/7 availability.
Exactly. And then revolutionizing how businesses manage their electric fleets with these flexible on-demand solutions like charging as a service. It just seems clear these innovations are making EV ownership more practical, more appealing than ever before.
I think so, too. And when you zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture. This isn't just about convenience, is it?
No, seems like more than that.
It's fundamentally about building confidence within that growing EV community, and really accelerating the crucial shift toward more sustainable transportation. It offers a tangible solution. It ensures that things like traffic congestion or variable weather conditions, especially in places like Maryland, they don't leave EV drivers feeling stranded or anxious.
Right. So wrapping things up, what does this all mean for you, our listener? Maybe you're actively considering an EV, maybe you already own one, or maybe you're just curious about where transportation is headed. These mobile charging solutions, they're a really fascinating example of how infrastructure is adapting. cleverly adapting, I'd say, to meet this rapidly increasing demand.
It really is clever, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? As mobile charging services become more widespread, more common, how might this fundamentally alter our whole perception of range anxiety, that fear of running out of charge?
Could it almost disappear?
Maybe diminish significantly? And if it does, what new possibilities does that open up? For urban planning, maybe? Or even for long-distance EV travel in an all-electric future?
That's a great question to end on.
Something to mull over as you go about your day.